world and welcome to a new video. I am here in the business class lounge in Frankfurt. I will do a segment run today, and if you want to know what a segment run is and what is the difference to a mileage run, then just follow me along. I will explain it to you today while I have a whopping number of 5 flights. And does it actually make any sense to take 5 flights in one day, even from the perspective of the money you burn at this day? Then follow me along. We take our first flight of the day with LOT Polish all the way to Warsaw.
Unfortunately, there is no lounge in the B area of Frankfurt Airport for flights departing within the Schengen area. You can visit a lounge in the A area, but then you have to walk through what some call the Tunnel of Horrors to get to the B area. You should always allow plenty of time for this. Another curious thing, boarding was supposed to start at 6:50, but I arrived at the gate at 6:45 and all the passengers had already boarded. Can you believe it? And this was the exact same moment when an employee tried to call me on my phone to ask where I am. Looking up a little bit of sun, and yes, this isn't a review of LOT Polish Airlines, but since we are already in here, let's take a quick look at the seat and check the legroom. Upon boarding there is a refreshing and disinfection wipe, and on all 4 flights of the day a brioche roll filled with custard were served. On domestic flights within Poland only water is served. On the European flights tea and coffee are also available. And they have a loo, of course. A bit on the older side. Just had something to drink and a little rest, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, chilling, and now it is time for the second flight of the day. Let's go! Leaving the Polonaise lounge from LOT Polish Airlines at their main hub Warsaw, you can find a video about this one over here. For our flight to Katowice, we had a bus gate, no problem at all, easy peasy so far, but things were about to change once we are in the air. On this second flight of the day with LOT Polish Airlines, I skipped the brioche vanilla pudding bun. I was wondering why we are circling so much, and then came the first moment when I felt a little uneasy as the captain made an announcement. So we are circling now for minutes and the captain just came back with an announcement that the airport is closed. It is unexpectedly closed. There is some construction work at the one-way and therefore it is closed at the moment, should be reopened in 10 minutes. Hopefully this will be the case. Otherwise they might go back to Warsaw because it's not that far away. It is important that I get back to Warsaw anyway to get on the Swiss flight this evening, but that would mean I will miss my flight from Katowice back to Warsaw. It would be disappointing to miss the one flight segment on my frequent flyer status for the Katowice to Warsaw flight. So fingers crossed. This is also a perfect example why you always should book a direct return and make sure that this direct return flight will be operated on the same aircraft. This is really common for flights within Europe, but for example if you go in the States from Boston to Chicago, it might be another airplane that goes back to Boston because this airplane might go to Houston on the next flight. Make sure you will be on the same aircraft on your return flight, on your direct return. When we boarded the bus, I started to get a little nervous. Why hadn't we simply gotten off at the gate where our plane was parked? That made me suspicious, and when we were finally dropped off the baggage claim area, I had a bad feeling. I couldn't see any transit area in the baggage claim that would have taken me directly from airside arrival to airside departures. And that was the moment I realized I had to run. Out of the baggage area, onto the land side, to the departures area and to security again. All this knowing that boarding was about to begin, because on a direct return flight, plane will be turned around from the ground crew on a very short time. The takeaway is that such segment runs or mileage runs only can done with hand luggage, and above all you must check in online or at the airline's main hub airport for all flights beforehand. That was crazy. Usually in the European Union, when you arrive at an airport and within the Schengen realm, you get into the airport where departures is. So yeah, you can just wait there until boarding starts again for the same aircraft for the return flight. But here at Katowice, they drop us over there at a separation, which is for Schengen, yes, but you have to go to security again. There is no way for connecting flights, something like this. It's just luggage pickup, and then you have to go back to security again. In retrospect, I remembered I already been to Katowice many years ago, but I couldn't recall it in my mind. That's just how it is when you're a frequent flyer. Too many countries, too many airports, too many flights. It just became difficult to remember every single detail. So let's get to the point where I tell you why I'm doing this. Obviously, I want to maintain and regain my status as a 1K member with United Mileage Plus, which is a super high value status for me. And you might wondering if it's worth it to fly around. I mean, these flights also cost money. And I will give you a calculation for my example why it is worth it for me to take these flights and spend this money by showing you how value the 1K status is for me. And of course, if you are a frequent flyer, you always have to do this math calculation for yourself. Is it worth it to gain the next status level? And what are the benefits you get? And how much money you have to spend for this one. If you are a frequent flyer and you look up some web pages, frequent flyer forums from time to time, you might have seen the term mileage run before, and you might familiar with it, but you're still wondering what is a segment run. Actually, a segment run is the same thing. It's just to collect some segments for your status. On some frequent flyer programs you can get your status with segments only, and at some you need to collect segments in addition to the qualifying miles. So a mileage run is only there to make as many miles as possible to your frequent flyer account. That means you look up for a specific route. The longer it is, the better it is, and the higher the booking class it is, the better it is, because many airlines give the mileage by the flown distance. But unfortunately, a lot of airlines change this system. They now give status points by the money you spend instead of the distance you are flying. So in this case, you should consider to fly with a partner airline, because flying on a partner airline will give you the qualifying points by the flown distance multiplied with the booking class. And most of the time, this will give you more qualifying miles compared to a spending system. That was the exact moment when I realized how cool it is and how privileged I am to be able to take such crazy trips. And despite the brief butterflies in my stomach, in the end, everything turned out all right with the flights on this really packed itinerary. We will arrive into Warsaw. Flight number 3 is over pretty soon, and I want to give you a pro tip from my side. Every year in November, December, a lot of questions came up on the frequent flyer pages. I am short in just a handful of miles, points or segments. And what can I do now? Is there a cheap flight routing I can book without paying a fortune? Make your plans ahead. In the middle of the year, make your calculations. What are your expected flights for the rest of the year? Could it be that you will be short? And then make your plans. If you book your flights months or weeks ago, it could be cheap. If you book them in November for traveling in December, it will be pretty expensive, and therefore maybe makes no sense to make a status run, a mileage run or a segment run. So always plan ahead with enough time, and don't do it in November. It's the bad time in the year. Okay, to be honest, such a packed itinerary could be exhausting a little bit, but if you have the possibility to chill out in a lounge between flights, it's quite okay.
So finally, why am I doing this? For each status level on United, you need 15 qualifying flights and 5,000 qualifying points. Or if you only go by qualifying points, you need 6,000 instead. But to get the highest level, the 1K status, you need 60 flights plus 22,000 qualifying points. So you need 2,000 more points. If you go by premium qualifying points only, you need 28,000. So that is 4,000 more points compared to the other level steps. At the moment, I have a little bit over 15,000 qualifying points. That means I could have the platinum status, but I need 45 flights for it. I only have 38, and that means I'm short of 7. The platinum status will give me 40 plus points. I can do one upgrade from economy to business class. By reaching the 1K status, you will receive 280 plus points, which can get you up to 7 upgrades on long-haul flights. Up to 7 upgrades on long-haul flights with United, ANA and Lufthansa. That could be worth 5,000 to 10,000. It is really worth it to do a couple of flights.
And there is one important thing to consider regarding my job as an onboard courier. There are frequent requests for assignments that require a certain status, and quite often there are explicit requests for couriers with a United 1K status. This status can bring me 2 or 3 additional assignments throughout the year. And back at the departure gate for the 4th and final flight of the day with LOT Polish Airlines to Prague, and outside the sun sets on the horizon. Flight number 5, flight number 4. I'm so confused already. Flight number 4 of today, 4th flight with LOT Polish, and yeah, the last one with LOT today, and then Swiss A350, here we go. One more vanilla bar. The initial reason why I am here is actually Swiss and their new A350. Swiss has received the first A350 and it comes with the new Swiss Sensus cabin, which is actually the same like Lufthansa's Allegris, because it's Lufthansa Group owned developed. Most of these intra-European flights were sold really expensive, 200 to 300 euros for one leg for a flight that is 1.5 to 2 hours. It is super expensive. But I was able to find these bargain deals from Prague via Zurich to Palma, starting at 95 euros, which is actually a pretty nice price. So each segment is then around 50 euros, which is a super deal for a segment run. And both segments are supposed to operate on the A350. But then of course I had to come to Prague to start my journey over there with Swiss. And the cheapest option to go from Frankfurt to Prague was with LOT Polish. They offered this flight for 150 euros. And I remember that LOT is offering some super cheap flights within Poland. They start as low as 25 euros each leg. I just had to squeeze them into my layover in Warsaw. So I chose the earliest flight that was departing from Frankfurt, and I chose another later flight departing from Warsaw to Prague. So yeah, I had enough time to squeeze in those 2 short hoppers in Poland. And now I finally made it to Prague airport.
This was my segment run on LOT Polish Airlines, 4 flights in a row. 5th flight of the day will come in 2 hours, but this is on Swiss and a new A350, and this is a whole separate video that has priority boarding group 1. It is a really special event when a new aircraft and a new cabin arrives on an airline. So the A350 video will come out 1 or 2 days after the flight is done. And this video here, I don't know, somewhere in November or December. Anyway, if you liked the video, if I was able to give you some inside views and some tips, some impressions and some ideas for your mileage runs and segment runs, then I am happy if you subscribe to the channel and leave me a like, of course. If there's anything in the future you want to see on this channel, just let me know in the comments down below, and I try my very best to fulfill your video wishes. Until then, you guys, We all live under the same horizon, so be nice to each other. Goodbye.